Sunshines! I was tagged by my friend Christina to do the Extraordinary Means tag, which was originally created and done by Robyn Schneider, who is the author of The Beginning of Everything. This tag was created by Robyn to celebrate the release of her new book called Extraordinary Means, hence the title of the tag, which is the Extraordinary Means tag. So this tag essentially asks you questions about what sort of extraordinary means would you go to for your favorite authors or books or things like that. So I thought I would give it a go because it seems fun, even though after watching Christina and Jen and Justin do it, it seemed a little bit daunting and stressful to come up with answers to the questions, but I think I have, so here we go. Question number 1. I would give up the internet for a month for a signed first edition of this book. Peter Pan by J.M. Barrie. No questions asked. Absolutely none. I actually have a first edition of Peter Pan. I know that Christina and Justin and Jen were also talking about like what books could they get that then they could sell for a lot of money, like Justin saying the Bible signed by any of the apostles or God would be amazing, and that was hilarious. I loved that answer. However, I would not want to get Peter Pan signed by J.M. Barrie or have a copy of it signed by J.M. Barrie just to sell it. I would absolutely keep that. That would be, like, it already is one of my most prized possessions, that book, but that would just, like, climb the list. Like, it would be at the top, I'm pretty sure. That would be amazing. Question number 2. I would give up pizza for a year if it meant that I could sit next to this author on a long plane ride. So here's the thing. I'm not super into bugging celebrities. Like, I'm just not one who treats celebrities like celebrities, if that makes sense. They're a normal person, and I like to treat them like they're a normal person, and that's just kind of how I've always been. We're just people. We're just people. We're just hanging out. It's just normal, okay? So first of all, I wouldn't bug this person on the plane. I probably would just say, hey, like I would to anybody, make small talk, make conversation, but like having somebody trapped there, my first reaction and my first thought would not be to maximize on that opportunity and like barrage them with questions. We're on a flight, we're on a plane, they probably want to watch their show, they probably want to listen to their music, whatever. I'm not gonna just bug them, right? Because I wouldn't want that. So, but all that aside, if I could sit next to and make small talk with an author on a plane, I would probably also choose Kiera Cass, like Christina did, because if it happened to come up in conversation, like if I happened to be reading The Heir, which I just got, I need to read, and if I were on a plane, which I will be next weekend, I might be reading it on a plane. If she happened to notice that and brought it up, I probably would not be the one to bring it up. I would talk to her about it. But that would be about it. So maybe Kiera Cass, because I might happen to be reading her book on an airplane and she might happen to be on an airplane too. That's a horrible answer, but whatever. Question number 3. I would sit through 1,000 hours of commercials if it would ensure that Hollywood made this book into a movie. Justin put this into perspective a little bit. 1,000 hours is about 40 days. That's insane. First of all, first question, is it 1,000 hours straight? 40 days straight? Or can you spread them out? Like, obviously you'd have to watch the commercials before the movie was a thing, but do you have to watch them all in one sitting? Valid question, I think. Regardless, this question is very ridiculous, so I'm gonna just treat it as such. My answer to this ridiculous question would be not a ridiculous answer, but The Winner's Trilogy by Marie Rutkowski. So far, only the first 2 books are out, but I am like literally so invested in that trilogy. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Her writing style is amazing. The characters are so well-rounded, and from where we left off in the second book, I'm just like, excuse me, what? When is book 3 coming out? I have to have this book in my hand right now. Also, I totally freaked out when I tweeted about that fact, and Marie Rutkowski on Twitter responded. What? If you haven't read those books, The Winner's Curse and The Winner's Crime, read them, you won't regret it. So good. Question number 4. I would never read a new book again if I could live inside this world. So many people are saying Harry Potter. I commend you. There are valid points that if you lived inside that world but you weren't allowed to read any new books ever, that would be really tough. You probably wouldn't be a wizard. That was a good point that Robyn brought up. But my counter argument to that would be if you were living inside that world, then you probably would be able to read books inside that world. Like, you made the deal on the outside of that world, so you can't read any books from our world, but you're inside that world now, so it's like, okay. That's what I thought. But that's not my answer. My answer is not Harry Potter. My answer is Narnia. from C.S. Lewis's The Chronicles of Narnia. I would love, oh gosh, I would love to either live inside Narnia, post the war. It would be really great, amazing, everyone is wonderful, hanging out with Tumnus all the time, just seeing the changes. I am like so riveted by The Chronicles of Narnia. I have been ever since we read them as children. It would be either that, or how awesome would it be to live inside the world of this series of unfortunate events? It would be awful. It would be so great. I could be best friends with the Baudelaires or the Quagmires. Oh my gosh, that would be incredible. So that's my answer. It's a two-part answer, but you know what? That is my gift to you. You're welcome. Number 5. I would let my Google search history be made public if it meant I could be best friends with this author. I chose Sarah Dessen for this question, and the reason for that is because Sarah Dessen, but I already sort of feel like we're friends. Sarah Dessen was the first author that I realized growing up was a young adult author, so she was kind of my first young adult author. She was the first author that I started following on Twitter. She just seems so sweet and so down to earth. Just seems like she has a really cool life, and just, I mean, she doesn't have it all together, and I love that Twitter connects us with other people and other, like, people we might have put on pedestals in that way, and she's just very real on Twitter, and I could totally babysit her kid. That would be awesome. That'd be so cool. So, Sarah Dessen. Number 6. I would donate everything I own to Goodwill if it meant I could date this book character in real life. First of all, disclaimer, I have the best girlfriend in the world right now. So, all that aside, this is just a nicety. I am just answering this question because it is a question. And honestly, this question was kind of difficult to answer because who is worth dating that you would donate everything to Goodwill? Obviously Emily is, but from everybody else, who's worth it? And I'm not entirely sure that I'm 100% sold on this answer, but it's pretty damn close, and it might be as close as we're gonna get, so I'm just gonna roll with it, and that is Lola from Lola and the Boy Next Door. She is so unapologetically herself. She is so quirky. I feel like we would just get along really well. We could share each other's clothes because we're both weird and dress weird like each other. Wigs are totally cool. I would be totally down with that. I just think it would be fun. That's my answer, Lola from Lola and the Boy Next Door. Okay, so tagging people. I'm gonna go ahead and tag my beautiful real world girlfriend, Emily, obviously, a Jedi Juggler, and I will also tag my sister Becca, 3 Loves Horses, here on YouTube, and I'll tag Jessie the Reader, because that seems like fun, and also Elizabeth, Elizzy Books. So there you go. Those are the people that I tag. Those were my answers to the tag. This is a totally quirky, crazy, random questions tag video, and I loved it. It was so weird. Also, I'm not convinced that I would be willing to give up pizza just to sit on an airplane next to Kira Cass. I would rather take my chances with the odds and stick with pizza. Okay, that's it. I'm leaving. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! Countries in the World Showcase in Epcot are actually upkept. Collection celebrates Espionage Cosmetics' 4th birthday. These everything shadows are actually